There's a new study correlating artificial sweeteners with an increased risk in cancer. Now, this is interesting because many people in the exercise, health, dietary community have told us for years that these artificial sweeteners are completely safe. However, the studies show differently. So let's go ahead and dive in. But before we do, I'm Dr. Nick Zarowski, and welcome to the channel. Be sure to subscribe, hit the notification bell. Now, for all my natural health videos, you can go to my website at www.drzee.tv. You can also become a member on the website and get premium content that you won't get anywhere else. We appreciate our members because it makes it possible for us to make videos like this. So let's go ahead and dive into this particular study, artificial sweeteners and cancer risk, but we're going to look at an article surrounding this study. Now, sugar-free might sound healthy, but a new study hints that people who consume a lot of artificial sweeteners may face a slightly higher risk of cancer. I have watched people in the exercise community, diet community for years sit there and gulp down dietary sodas and beverages and foods and of all sorts, claiming that they're completely healthy. And the fact is that these artificial sweeteners have been linked with cancer many times. However, people in these communities fail to ever recognize that. But the thing is that's so interesting is that, like, when you look at studies in general, you can always find a reason that the study is flawed and kind of just make your way of believing any type of science you want. I mean, a prime example of that is what we just dealt with over the past couple years with this virus, where like people are just choosing to believe all kinds of different science and not really be realistic about it. Well, when it comes to the artificial sweeteners, I actually have a friend of mine who was consuming copious amounts of diet soda, diet Pepsi, all through our teenage years and into his early adulthood. And he actually got cancer in his early 30s, which is really bizarre for a young guy to get cancer in his 30s who, appears to be pretty healthy. However, he was drinking. That was his weak point, is he loved his diet sodas. Well, it didn't work out so well. So as we look at this study, one of the things that they did is they really correlated two types of artificial sweeteners. In this large study population, artificial sweeteners, especially aspartame and acetylsulfame K, which are used in many foods and beverage brands worldwide, were associated with an increased risk in cancer. Let's take a look at the study itself, okay? The study, published in March 24th in the Journal of PLOS Medicine, included that nearly 103,000 French adults who were 42 years of age, on average, at the start, every 6 months, they had to answer detailed questions about what they'd eaten over the past 24 hours for 3 consecutive days. Almost 38,000 participants consumed artificial sweeteners. Half were considered high consumers, typically downing 17 to 19 milligrams or more per day. Over 8 years, 3,358 study participants were diagnosed with cancer, and the researchers accounted for other factors. The group with a higher intake of artificial sweeteners had a 13% greater risk of cancer compared to those who didn't. Now, people who are naysayers of this type of thing will say, well, you know what, they didn't check if they had inflammatory problems or obesity, what was their underlying conditions they were facing, and that's all true. But however, the study did look for some different underlying factors. So one of the things that we have to be aware of is that these artificial sweeteners are chemicals, right? They are chemicals, synthetic chemicals made in a lab. And the fact is you don't need to be consuming them nowadays because you know what? There's tons of other options. Think of the erythritol, the monk fruit, the stevia, the xylitol, the allulose. It's like, how many options do you need? Why do you got to go to the ones that could potentially cause cancer, right? I mean, some of these are literally just coming from plants out of the ground, like stevia. I mean, it's come from the stevia leaf, monk fruit. I mean, why make this complicated and go towards the ones that are synthetically made? So anyway, what you're going to find is that there are many research articles that are correlating a lot of these different artificial sweeteners. And when we say artificial, we're not talking about natural sweeteners like stevia and monk fruit. We're talking about artificial. These are chemicals, okay? They are synthetically made. They are not found in nature. So be aware of that. So what we find is that you should avoid them. And especially diet sodas. Don't fall into that workout guru garbage where it's like, oh, well, you can have, aspartame sweetened maple syrup and aspartame sweetened diet sodas. They're horrible for you. So avoid these at all costs. Now, for our next topic here, which I'm really excited to tell you about, is I just started a brand new YouTube channel. Now, many people over the years have really liked my health illustrations that I would do on like a whiteboard and explain things, and I've gotten away from doing those, and a lot of people ask for them to come back. So what I decided to do is I started a new YouTube channel where you can find these, and I have 4 videos up over there right now. They're all great topics that you'll really love. So I highly recommend you check them out and go over there, subscribe, watch the videos, send them to your friends, spread the message. I'd greatly appreciate it. I love your support, and I thank you for your support. And if you want to find this new channel with all the new great, amazing content, go ahead and check it out right here.